No Recipe Required. I'm Dave, and tonight I'm going to go through how to cook a Kobe steak. Now, I'll confess up front, this isn't actually Kobe steak. Kobe steak officially only comes from Japan. It's a kind of a brand name, but the meat I have is from the Wagyu cattle or beef. It's the same breed of cattle. It's renowned for kind of the fat content in the beef. What it turns into is a super tender and super flavorful steak. Couple little tweaks to this steak as opposed to a normal steak that we're going to show you in the video, and I'll show you how to make it absolutely perfect. Let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, so tonight I've got a couple Kobe steaks. These are New York strips. Kobe, actually it's Wagyu, American Kobe. They're actually a much fatter cut of steak than traditional steaks, or certainly grass-fed steaks. You're essentially buying that extra fat, the extra care and feeding that goes into the animal. And what that fat does, it gives you a more tender piece of meat as well as a ton more flavor. I like to treat them, very simply. Salt and pepper on both sides. Just like a normal steak or regular steak, we're going to let it come up to room temperature before we cook it. And I salt and pepper, maybe 10-15 minutes before I'm ready to put it on the oven. I'm going to do these pan fried. You could certainly do them on the grill, but again, you got to keep in mind, because of that greater fat content, you may have a few more flare-ups than normal, but really not much different other than they're absolutely delicious. Okay, so we're ready to go with our Kobe steaks. Now, because of the fat content in the Kobe's, I actually like to start mine just a little bit lower temperature than I would a normal steak, because I want a little bit more of that fat to render out. So maybe like just below the smoke point. Mine is my pan is smoking just a little bit, so I just turn the heat down. I just pulled the pan off the heat to let it cool down for a second, and that's really all you're talking about. By no means do I mean a cold pan or a medium heat pan. When you lay down, you got to hear that sizzle. That's what we're looking for. I'm gonna get my other one in there, and my pan is like just barely big enough. Right? You don't want to overcrowd the pan, so I'm gonna put that heat back up on high so I don't lose too much heat. And I want to sear that other side. I'm not going to flip it around. I'm not going to do anything like that. I'm just going to let this go for a good 3.5-4 minutes. Okay, so after 3 or 4 minutes, I'm going to take a quick peek, and I'm going to see a nice caramelized underside. I'm going to flip the other one. I'm going to let this go for about the same amount of time, maybe a little bit less. Call it maybe 2.5 minutes. Okay, I'm about 1.5 minutes into my 2 minutes on this side. And I've got some thyme here that I'm going to just kind of scatter, throw down in the middle of the pan. This is where it'd be nice to have just a slightly bigger pan. That popping is the fresh thyme. The oil's kind of releasing. I'm going to throw a knob of butter down in the bottom of the pan as well, which is going to melt down pretty quickly and give me this awesome flavored thyme butter that I'm just going to take a few minutes. We're going to move that over a little bit. Tilt the pan. I'm just going to take a few minutes, again, right over the heat. Take some of that butter and just baste my steaks. And that's going to give it a nice little flavor of both the butter and the thyme. So these are about done. I don't even put these in the oven. I do them all on the stove. I'm going to let them go for about 30 more seconds, and we'll pull them off, let them rest for a good 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, once our Kobe has rested, look at that, resting. You can tell it's rested when you can handle it with your hands. I'm serving mine with a little bit of potato, and if you want to, you can go ahead and grab just a little bit of that thyme butter, drizzle it right over the top, and there you've got one of the best steaks in the world. I'll see you next time on No Recipe Required.